real and what's not real. And I saw some of the news today, but I'll be honest with you, I've talked to nobody at Oklahoma. I've talked to no other than the golf coach. Golf coach is a really good friend of mine. He called me, but haven't talked to anybody else, and really haven't talked to anybody here in Carolina. We're just trying to worry about what we can control right now in South Carolina, and that's getting ready to start practice next week.
If it happens, does it make your job better or worse?
I think you already in this league, you're in the toughest conference in America already, and you know that week in, week out, you're going to be playing against the very best. And adding potentially 2 new programs to this conference only makes it an even more challenging conference. But I'm under the mindset of we get to play these other teams and get to do this, and certainly makes it makes it more challenging, but it certainly makes it more exciting in a lot of ways too.
How much more? You're selling it to these people, and they say, "Tell me how it makes my life better as a Gamecock fan." What would you tell them?
I don't know. And again, until things are official, I'm not going to get in, guys. So what's rumored out there and things like that. I'm trying to get ready for practice next week in Eastern Illinois.
What is this next week like for you getting ready? I mean, the anticipation of it?
Yeah, no, it's exciting. Just the NCAA allows us to do some things with our players before we start practice. So I just literally came straight from the field. It was great to be on the field with those guys tonight and be able to do what we're allowed to do within NCAA rules, and a lot to get done from an organizational standpoint this week with the staff and some Gamecock Club events like this. Be up in Greenville tomorrow for the visiting with so many of the great high school coaches in our state tomorrow, and speaking at their clinic tomorrow in Greenville and around our players. So there's a lot happening before we report next Thursday and practice on Friday.
So how important is this Gamecock Club tour, especially for you, your first year as a head coach?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. They asked me early on in the spring if I wanted to do it, and absolutely did. To be able to just get out and get around the fan base and do it across the state in Charlotte on Wednesday night, just to be able to get out there and be around our amazing fans, talk about South Carolina football, see their excitement about the program right now and where things are, and being able to talk to them about where we are and where we're going. It's exciting.
I know you don't care about the preseason poll, but will you mention it? Have you mentioned it to your guys, the perception?
I haven't. I think they're smart enough to know that not many people have high expectations for us this year, but like I told some of you guys over in Hoover last week, let's worry about what we can control, and we're all, I would hope, motivated internally by ourselves, and we're all competitors, and hopefully one day we're picked to win the SEC, and at that point we're not going to pay a whole lot of attention to it. We're not paying a whole lot of attention to it right now, but certainly I'm sure at some point during preseason camp it'll come up, but our guys, we got a bunch of competitors in our program, and I probably don't have to say a whole lot to them anyway.
About the new banner, what was your role kind of designing it? What are your thoughts about it?
I would say I had a pretty significant role in it. I reached out to my bosses early on about changing it. Something new, and a lot of in our facility, a lot of the stuff that's up in our facility is new. And just getting something new up there. We talk about team all the time, and frankly, I didn't like the image of just a single player by himself in all black, and just wanted to get something else up there. So credit Justin King and his staff, because they came up with some ideas and showed me the welcome home and the way that it ended up being, and absolutely loved it. And didn't have to look at Plan B, because Plan A was good enough for me. And I know the color was a little bit off. We'll work all that out, but I love it, and really, really cool seeing that up there.
8 months ago you take over, and now you're a week away from this all starting up. How would you evaluate just how this process has gone in terms of the coaching staff and the players being able to buy into it, and how pleased are you with just a week to go until things get picked up?
Really pleased. I mean, to be honest with you, probably a little bit better than I expected. We got a great staff, and we got great young men in our program, and that's made it go. You're only as good as the people around you, and we've got some fantastic people in the program. It's been a lot of fun. I sit at SEC Media Days. I haven't had a bad day. If there have been bumps in the road, you have. There have been some days that have been a little bit more stressful than others, sure, but I've loved walking into the facility each day, and I've loved walking out of it each evening as well. So really excited to get going. feel like we've come a long way since I got hired in December, and eager to get into preseason camp, and that's kind of the next step.
Shane, who's more anxious to get practice started, get the season started, you or the players?
I think probably me. No, they're excited. Just being around them tonight. The coaches have had a little bit of time off in the summertime, and tonight was the first time we were able to get back out together with the team all at once, and that was really cool to see the excitement and the energy on the field tonight with the players and the staff and everybody being back out there. I'm super excited. It's my 22nd year in coaching, and I'll be honest, usually about this time in the summer I could use a few more weeks of vacation, but not now. I mean, I can't wait. I wish we started practice tomorrow, but I think our players are certainly excited as well. They've had a really great summer in the weight room with Luke Day, and I know they're excited to take the next step with preseason camp as well.
Last June,
Talks with your coaching staff about the Delta variant of COVID. Is there any concern that might have some sort of an impact on the pool?
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about it. Some of the players, I've talked to some of the players individually. They've reached out to me. We're trying to be as smart as we can be in our facility and following all the protocols that we have as a university and as an athletic department. That's something that we're constantly educating our guys on, and frankly, I've spent a lot of time thinking about it, talking about it. I've talked to some NFL head coaches today, as a matter of fact, about some of the things they're doing in training camp right now, since they've already started practice, and certainly I'd be lying to you if I said it wasn't a concern. I'll look around, I'm not dumb, I watch the news, I see what's going on across the country as well, but we're also, I know our medical team here at South Carolina has been amazing going back to last year and what they've done since I've been here as well. So we're doing the best we can and trying to be smart and make sure we have a full complement of players when we kick it off on September 4th.
Any update you can share on the vaccination percentage for the team right now?
No, I told you guys last week that we were in a good spot and that we were rapidly approaching that 85% number, and that's only gotten better since I saw some of you guys in Birmingham last week. So we're in a good position right now.
last June, when you guys were able to have recruits on campus, you were able to build a lot of momentum on the recruiting trail. How excited are you to get guys back this week, and how pivotal from a recruiting standpoint is it?
Yeah, no, it really was. June was amazing. We had guys on campus every day but one that was in the month of June, and a lot of guys that came back a couple times during the month as well. So it was great to be able to get them on campus, see the facilities, see our people, and being around our people was amazing. We've got a big week coming up, a really big day on Saturday with a lot of young men and their families that are going to be here. A lot of them for the second time or third time. A lot of them that are committed that are coming back this weekend. So we just got to continue to keep that positive momentum going from a program standpoint, from a recruiting standpoint, and excited to get them back here Saturday as well.
Does recruiting change when you're a head coach versus position coach? What's your role in recruiting now as head coach versus when you were at Oklahoma or Georgia?
Probably more when I was at Oklahoma, Georgia, and other places as an assistant coach. I was worried about my position and really could care less about roster numbers and scholarship numbers and things like that. Just go recruit all the tight ends I could and all the guys in my area and things like that, and let Lincoln Riley and Kirby and those guys figure out if we got enough scholarships for them. Now it's different because you've got to manage the entire roster. You only get 85 scholarships. There's a lot of really good players out there, and making sure that you got enough scholarships for all of them, and not just looking at this year's class, but looking at the following year and kind of projecting what's going on in your own program. So that's the biggest thing. I got a lot of experience of that when I was the recruiting coordinator here before. I mean, that's what I had to do with Coach Spurrier, so it's not like the first time I've done it. So probably just looking overall at the entire roster, obviously, and then I've just tried to continue to recruit from a work ethic standpoint like I am an assistant coach. I mean, I still text them and call them and FaceTime them and talk to moms and dads regularly like I did as an assistant coach, and I really haven't tried to change anything, from that standpoint now that I'm the head coach.
How soon after you took the job did you know you wanted to recreate that Arby's picture?
I didn't, to be honest with you.
Was that Justin King's idea?
That was Justin King. That was Justin King. Give Fink credit too. Fink was on board with it as well. We were riding back to the airport, and Justin and Steve Fink said we got to do this. We're going to drive right past this Arby's that had happened the first time. We got to go in there and do it, and we did it. And probably the best part, it wasn't on camera. It was just the reaction of the young ladies that were working behind the counter when we rolled in and set up the whole shop, like that to do the picture. I think there was some surprised and amazed faces from those girls watching us. But it was fun to do, and you know, we took the picture, and then we were up in the air probably 15 minutes later, and then when we landed, it was amazing. Just automatically the reaction from so many people over that picture. It was pretty cool.
Is everyone that was banged up in the spring there on the track health-wise to start practicing next
Yeah, they really are. Like I said, just came from that workout that we had out on the field tonight, and everybody was good. Even Ja'Kai Moore, who was limited and really didn't do anything in spring practice, he was out there running around tonight and looked fantastic as well. So we've been healthy this summer. Everybody that was out there at spring practice is back. And knock on wood, let's just keep everybody healthy going into practice and then preseason camp.
On the subject of offensive linemen, Justin Turntime posted a picture on Twitter like last week where he looked a lot slimmer than he did last year.
Yeah.
Can you speak to maybe what he's done to kind of transform himself that way?
Yeah, I think credit Kristen Cognitive Nutrition and Luke Day and their staff and what they've, you know, done. Obviously, we've got fantastic personnel over there at our place in nutrition and in the weight room, and they've really worked with Jazz and all of our guys and then the assistant coaches about, you know, holding their guys accountable, you know, from that standpoint as well. But he's worked really hard and super talented, and he, along with a lot of our guys, have certainly changed their bodies around in a good way since we got here as well.
Shane, I want to know, how many ringers you going to have on your team for the golf tournament?
We're still working through the protocols and the format and all that stuff as well. So we got a couple different scenarios. We'll figure it out. But looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys out there. And I saw y'all's handicaps that y'all turned in and posted for that as well. So should be a fun day, that's for sure.